Now, superfood to me is all about making great tasting food that just so happens to be good for you. Quick cooking is one thing, but I want to take it up a notch and bring you a new playbook of recipes that do just that. I'll show you how to create easy to follow dishes that are perfect for your busy life. Eating healthy doesn't have to be boring, and there's a world of flavour ready to be discovered. Sometimes you just have to jump in. These recipes are designed to work for you, and they're ready in under half an hour, with some great shortcuts that will make cooking for the week a breeze. So if you're strapped for time, and if the idea of eating better sounds good, I've got a serious selection of game-changing recipes. Making your food super every day. Ready? Tonight we're serving up a fab veggie version of a comfort food classic, a seriously simple one-pan veggie lasagna. This is the food I really get excited about. If you're after big and bold flavour, then look no further than this Harissa lamb and feta bowl. Simple ingredients, brought to the next level. I'm conjuring up some meatballs with an Asian twist, and we'll be getting some sunshine on a plate with a fragrant turmeric fish. Flavour, colour, freshness. I'll also be trying my hand at a sweet apple dessert for the 5-minute meal challenge. So let's get cooking. First up, a veggie, meat-free lasagna. This only requires one pan, it's full of goodness, and ultimately saves on the washing up. Get some oil in a deep oven-proof saucepan on a high heat. When it's up to temp, get in there with some chopped garlic and diced onions. Give it a good stir and season with sea salt and black pepper. Next up, we're talking cubed courgette, sliced mushrooms, followed by a can of chopped tomatoes and some boiling water. Let it cook for 10 minutes and then add the fresh spinach. Slice up some sheets of fresh pasta and layer them on top. Give the mixture a toss and let the pasta get coated by the sauce. A few basil leaves and then pile in the grated parmesan. Last touch is thickly sliced mozzarella and get it under a preheated grill for 5 minutes or until it's bubbling all over. Look at that delicious one-pan wonder. Plonk it on the table and tuck in. Next up, I'm going to show you how to rev up some mince with some big flavour. This is my Harissa lamb with an epic feta sauce. I always feel that lamb is a bit of an underrated meat, and lamb mince is a fantastic thing to use. I'm going to form up some little patties with the help and the addition of some spicy sauce. This is harissa paste. I'm sure you might have seen it before. You can get it in most supermarkets now. It's this gorgeous, earthy, heady North African spice paste that just adds really great fragrance to anything you add it to. And it works particularly well with lamb mince. So I'm gonna add this straight into our bowl. Straight in with a teaspoon of this to your mix. We're gonna toast off some cumin seeds. And if you have cumin seeds or any sort of spices like this sitting in your store cupboard, by adding them to a pan like this, you're just gonna awaken all the fragrance and the flavor. So about a teaspoon or so of the cumin seeds in here. Cumin and lamb, really great flavor friends. I like how that works together. We're also gonna add some freshness from some flat leaf parsley. So a good handful of that, which I'm just gonna finely chop. It's the combination of ingredients that work here. You've got sweet lamb, you've got those earthy toasted cumin seeds, and then you have the spice from the harissa. And these are toasting up beautifully. The minute you start to see them smoking, get them straight out of the pan and into the meat. Give it a little season with some salt and pepper. And then just get your hands in there and form these into nice patties. Literally a minute or two on the pan and you've got gorgeous golden patties. These are fantastic. Right, they're looking good, and while they're continuing to cook off, I'm going to turn down the heat as I flip them to the other side. Gives us a bit of time to talk about the salad element of this. Now I have a bag of washed kale here, so I'm just ripping it off the stalk. And you can be pretty rough about this because we're going to do all the hard work in the bowl. Kale is jam-packed full of nutrients. It is a fantastic superfood, and it's a great one to kind of include in your diet quite regularly. Any of these brassicas that have those really rich green colors, you know you're in a good place in terms of nutrients. So, I have my big bowl of kale. We're going to add a good glug of extra virgin olive oil, a little seasoning of some sea salt and black pepper, and just for a little bit of acidity, I'm going to go in there with some lemon juice. So give it a roll on the board first. You need about the juice of, I would say, like half a lemon in here. It's just that acidity that helps break it down. Get your hands in there and just squeeze the bejesus out of it. And the great thing about massaging it like this is that it actually takes away a little bit of the bitterness from kale as well. So if you've had bitter kale, it's probably because it hasn't been massaged and had a little bit of love. Okay, our greens are looking good, and now I'm going to cheat a little bit by using some ready cooked lentils. I'm just going to pop these in the microwave. They're only going to take about 45 seconds. Now, while they're heating up, we need to talk about the sauce that brings this all together. This is a whipped feta, and this is the new way that I am obsessed with using feta cheese. Feta has that gorgeous salty bite. We're going to mellow that out with a little bit of yogurt and then ramp up the heat with some of that harissa paste. So, just crumble it in. Add a few dollops of some plain yogurt. And then just using the spoon, give it a good mash up until that feta is nice and smooth and you've got a really smooth sauce. Once it's nice and smooth, get a little whisk in there and just keep whisking. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Actually, it's not really. Let's give it another second. Right, we've massaged the kale. We've whipped the feta. We have our lamb cooked through. And now it's time to stir through some of that rich and spicy harissa paste. So get that in there and just fold it through. That's it. 3 very simple components, and don't forget the lentils in the microwave. Now it's time to build this plate. Now that for me is superfood in minutes. You have gorgeous spicy lamb, tender kale, which I never knew I'd be so excited about, and some lentils, and that sauce. Simple ingredients brought to the next level with spice, heat, and serious flavour. Try it.
A real crowd-pleasing meal packed full of freshness and spiky feta.
Let's talk about how to get through the week with tasty, flavourful and well-planned meals. Bit of a mouthful, but I can promise you it comes down to 3 key things.
Specifically, we are talking meal planning, shopping list, and consistency. First, pick 5 meals that you really want to make, not ones you think you should be eating. If you're not excited about them on Sunday, you're definitely not going to be excited by them on Thursday. Second, it's the shopping list. Split up all the ingredients into meat, dairy, veg, you know the rest. So when you're shopping, you aren't running around like a mad thing. Third is consistency. When you get home, do as much prep as possible. Wash the veg, chop, and get them ready for the week. Do this for 1 week and your future self will thank you.
Meatballs are a winner in my house since I've given them the superfood treatment. Light, fresh, flavourful, and oh so tasty. Let's do this.
Get the mince in a glass bowl and season it well with sea salt and black pepper. Give it a good mix through and then start to form the meatballs with your hands. Give the hands a wash and then trim and roughly chop the spring onions and put them in a food processor. Then add some diced garlic and red chilli. I like to leave in the seeds for extra spice. Then, for a kick of fragrance, take a bunch of coriander and set the leaves aside. Pop in the stalks and give it a blitz. When it's done, add a splash of water and give it one more pulse. Time for the meatballs. Get some oil on a hot pan and start to fry. As they brown, turn them and make sure there's enough room in the pan. When they're done, set the meatballs aside and get the paste into the pan and let it fry until fragrant. Then add the coconut milk, and once it's reduced a bit, add the meatballs back to the pan. Nestle in the tender stem broccoli and the sugar snap peas and season with soy sauce and fish sauce. Now give everything a good toss through and it's ready to go. Finish with a garnish of thinly sliced spring onions and coriander leaves. Wrap your chops around this Thai-inspired meatball meal. Absolutely delicious. Coming up, 2 cracking dishes that will light your weekday meals on fire.
Now we're starting to see this take shape. This is a completely different fish dinner than what I grew up with.
A hit of sunshine with this fresh and oh so fragrant turmeric and dill fish, and a top dessert that's ready in a flash. This is my superfood in minutes, perfect for food lovers and those of you who want to make delicious meals without the fuss.
Vietnamese turmeric and dill fish. This is an altogether different fish supper, and it's perfect if you don't have time to pop over to Asia for dinner. A visit to Hanoi in Vietnam is not complete without trying the classic dish, which is basically this turmeric marinated dish. It looks fantastic and full of flavour. And interestingly enough, it uses a combination of herbs which I wasn't expecting to try when I had it there. One in particular, which is dill. Dill is an ingredient that I much more associate with Scandinavian sort of flavours and more sort of simple dishes, but it works extremely well with fish here with a little bit of spice and a little bit of turmeric. So we're going to slice up our fish, but first we need to talk about this marinade. For that, we have about 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. It's this intense, salty umami hit. And this combined with a little sweetness from some sugar is going to give you a really different flavour. We've got this beautiful combination of saltiness, sweetness, and now we're going to bring in a little bit of spice. The real special ingredient in this marinade is about a teaspoon of turmeric. It's this intense orange golden colour that when it fries off in the pan is going to give you altogether different fish. That's it. We need a little bit of aromatics from some ginger. So about a thumb-sized piece of ginger going on in here. Just take off the skin. It's a really surprising dish when you have it for the first time because I kind of associate Asian food with like fresh and vibrant flavors. So the use of something subtle like dill as a herb here and turmeric as a kind of deeper spice leaves you with a really interesting finish as this fries off in the pan. Okay. Ginger in, and now just whisk that up until the sugar is dissolved. The most sunny looking marinade you'll ever come across. Now, I'm not going to add any acidity in here because it has a tendency to cook out the fish, so this is exactly what we need. And now, I have some cod fillets that I'm just going to slice into kind of bite-sized chunks. Cod works perfectly, or you could use haddock here, just something that's going to hold its shape in the frying pan. So straight in there, and I would suggest you don't get your hands in here because you will be left with beautiful orange paws for the rest of the week. So get in there with a spoon and just give it a good toss.
Take your rice noodles and pop them into some boiling water for around 2 to 3 minutes until they're soft and silky. Then rinse under some cold water so they don't continue to cook.
Right, we have our noodles, good to go. Now let's talk about the fish. It's had a little time to marinate, preferably give it a little bit more time, but this is quick dinner, so it's ready to go. We're gonna get the heat on the pan. To this, you need to add a generous bit of oil because you do want this to kind of fry and catch around the edges. So a tablespoon or so. Bring that up to temperature and then it's frying time. I'm gonna get this nice and golden on all sides. Now we're starting to see this take shape. This is a completely different fish dinner than what I grew up with, and it looks fantastic in the pan, but we're gonna add some freshness. I have a little bit of spice and some aromatics. We've got some chilies, and I have a little bit of spring onions. Keep your eye on the fish, though. It does cook very quickly, so as soon as you start seeing it take shape and getting a nice bit of colour, it's time to turn it. Take your time with this. White fish has a tendency to break up in the pan, so you want to keep them in as much of a whole shape as possible, so really gentle at this point. This literally takes about 2 minutes or so on either side, just until it gets really nice and crispy. We're in a good place right now. We've turned the fish. I've got lovely char marks, so it's time to bring this together. I'm going to turn off the heat. I've got my noodles, I've got my fish. Now it's time to bring the heat. Really important, you taste your chilies. They vary so much in heat levels. This one has a nice build of heat as you have it on the tongue. So actually, I only need about 1 here. This is gorgeous. I'm gonna put half straight in along the fish while it finishes frying off. I'm gonna keep the rest for garnish, and then some spring onions. Nice fine slice on the diagonal. And look at that, nice slivers of spring onion. This is why it's worth using your knife skills just to get nice thin little cuts on these. I'm gonna add that in alongside the oil, and things are starting to happen in this pan. You've got charred fish, you've got chilies, you've got heat, you've got spring onion action. Now, we need a little bit of herbs. I've got some dill and some coriander. Dill is the unexpected flavour here. It somehow, amongst all that spice, shines through and gives you an altogether different dish. Right, let's build a plate.
Serve it up on a bed of rice noodles and garnish with some more thinly sliced chili, some spring onion, and some crushed peanuts for an extra layer of salty texture.
Now this is the sort of dish I want to come home to. Flavour, colour, freshness. Let's try some. Hands down, my favourite type of flavour. Just booming with spice, booming with saltiness. Really proud of this one.
There you have 4 great recipes to make this week. A super simple veggie lasagna, fresh fish with turmeric and dill, Thai-style meatballs, and a lamb and lentil plate of heaven.
It's dessert time. It's the 5-minute meal challenge. We've got caramel apple granola crunch. I've got 5 minutes on the clock, so let's get cooking. Right, first job is to get my pans on nice and hot. I've got some nice apples, which I'm gonna get sliced up. This is the biggest challenge about this 5-minute meal challenge, is trying to slice up some apples in the time that we have allocated. So using a peeler, I'm just gonna take off the skin. And then I do have a little cheat item of kitchen utensil that is going to help us along, which is the trendy, handy-dandy apple slicer and corer. Now, if you haven't seen one of these, this is what my mum used to have when I was a kid growing up. Pop it down around the core, try not to spit it up into your eye, and you should get left with gorgeous little apple slices. So that's exactly what we're after. Our pans are coming up to temperature, so I should have time to just do one more. Now, whatever apple you have to hand is going to do the job here. Basically, we're going to caramelize up these apples. We're going to get gorgeous, tender apples and a sweet, sweet caramel around the sides. I'm using a little bit of maple syrup, and I'm using a heck load of butter, which is going to do us quite nicely in this recipe. So, nice little peel on our apples. The crunch factor comes from a sort of toasted granola that is going to go over the top here. I'm trying to get rid of the peel and get the little bits of apple. Right, let's core this up. Let's get our slices on and see where we're at. Nice, okay, this is looking pretty good. So get rid of that core. Our pan should be up nice and hot, so I'm gonna grab some butter from the fridge. And the start of really good caramelized apples starts with butter in the pan. So grab up a little bit of butter and take off a generous knob. Now we're gonna go in with even more when we come to make this caramel. So start off with that in the pan and get that nicely melted down. With 3 minutes, I'm gonna get our apples straight in there alongside just so that they cook out. And give them a quick toss. Get them all buttery and golden and gorgeous. I'm actually gonna add even more butter in there just so that we get a really nice bit of cooking going on here. And in our other pan, we need to grab up some oats. So a little bit of rolled oats. So this is gonna form our gorgeous toasted granola and our crunch factor over the top. I need some coconut oil, which is gonna give some lovely flavor. to this granola. So just get that straight in there as well. Try not to get it over the counter as well. And we're gonna get in with our lovely oats. So straight into the pan. For a little bit of flavor, we've got some cinnamon. So that goes about a half a teaspoon going in here. And why not a little bit in our apples as well. So get that straight in there and sprinkled over. Give your apples a little bit of toss. Give them a little bit of love. And to this, we're gonna add a touch of brown sugar and allow that to caramelize. The smells in the kitchen are absolutely gorgeous now, real autumnal flavors. Time-wise, 2 minutes and 23 seconds. This is slightly worrying, but I think we should be okay. Just keep your eye on the apples here. You wanna make sure that you keep giving them a little bit of love, just so that the sugar breaks down and you get really nice, sweet caramelized apples. Let's give our our oats a little bit of toasting action. And the coconut oil in there is absolutely gorgeous, so don't skimp on that. In fact, I think I'm gonna add a tiny little bit more just so that we get a really gorgeous sort of exotic flavor running through the oats as they toast off there as well. So this is looking really good, and basically to bring all this together, once your apples are beautifully caramelized, we are going to bring this together with a little bit of freshness from some yogurt. So I'm gonna grab that from the fridge with 1 minute and 40 seconds to go. I've got a little bit of Greek yogurt. You can use vanilla yogurt. You can use whatever you can get to hand. Keep your eyes on these apples. You want to make sure that they're caramelized and cooked through as well. So keep giving them a bit of a toss, and you really need to make sure that that sugar is cooked all the way out. Keep an eye on that oat situation, because just like nuts, they will burn quite quickly in the pan. But you really get loads of toasty flavors when this all comes together, and you should be left with kind of crispy little oats, beautiful caramelized apples, and then that gorgeous yogurt as well. Speaking of which, we're gonna spread this on the plate with 1 minute to go. Keeping an eye on the apple. Try not to get caramel all over your counter, but if you do, it's grand, it's 5 minutes. Okay, in with the yogurt. Pop that straight down in the middle. We've got 55 seconds to go. Spread that all the way across your plate. This is gorgeous for a light dessert, or you could have it as a really beautiful brunch breakfast. So it's up to you what way you have it. Spread a little bit in the center there. We're gonna check on our apples. They're looking gorgeous and golden and sizzling and all the things you want them to be. Check on our lovely oats situation here as well. That's looking pretty good. I'm gonna turn off the heat on our oats spoons. This is looking, with 30 seconds to go. I'm slightly worried about this. I'm gonna turn off the heat on our apple because you can see there's a little bit of smoke coming there. They should be nice and tender at this point. So just grab them up. Place them in and around that yogurt. You remember you have all that gorgeous sauce, so don't skimp on the sauce. With 14 seconds to go, I'm getting a little bit worried, and I'm gonna take my time because this is where it all comes together absolutely gorgeously. So take a moment, look at that caramel. I've got 4 seconds to go. Take up some of that oat crunchy action. I'm out of time, but have a look at that. Really crispy, really golden, and that coconut flavor and cinnamon running all the way through. My friends, it's a 5-minute dessert. It's worth giving a go. I'm out of breath. Don't do what I did. Take your time with this. It's really gorgeous. Yum.
Coming up next week, a whole new set of recipes to bring wow to your weekday. Perfect if you're strapped for time. My super green pesto pasta.
This is where the action is.
Steak with blistered summer vegetables.
This is what we're after.
A chopped chicken salad with a quick fix. Marmalade pork. And of course, I'll be attempting my 5-minute meal challenge.
I've got 5 minutes on the clock. Let's get cooking.